Hello, my friend. Happy new moon in Sagittarius. This is a fiery new moon, an abundant, expansive new moon that's inviting you to shoot for the stars, dream big, go bigger. And we're going to look at some specific transits and aspects to this new moon that show us exactly how to work with the energy to create what you want to manifest at this time. So, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is all about abundance, expansion, thinking big, dreaming bigger. A Sag new moon is not a time to hold back. This is a time to go bigger. This is a time to trust yourself more and deeper. It's also a time to connect to what is truly important to you. Sagittarius is about your higher truth. It's about cutting out the noise, releasing all of the energy, stuff, thoughts that aren't fully aligned with who you truly are and what you actually truly want and desire to create and manifest at this time. So it's a time to tune into your values, to your higher truth, to what lights you up. And if you've been spreading yourself thin or in some way holding a lot of energy that's been creating some drag, this new moon is designed to release you from that if you choose and set you on a new path that is more clear, more concise, more precise about exactly what you're choosing and how you're creating it. This new moon's in a trine with the North Node and a sextile with the South Node. This indicates a positive, powerful energy flow with moving forward, the North Node, where you're headed, and also an opportunity for release. A sextile is also a productive energy flow of release with the past, with what needs to drop and let go. So there's a strong invitation to release what's not needed here. There's also an inconjunct to Taurus. I'm going to go through and just break this one down quickly. Every new moon is a coming together of the conscious awareness represented by the sun and the unconscious represented by the moon. So this is why it's traditionally a time for intention setting, because the unconscious and the conscious are in alignment. They're meeting up. As we mentioned, this is happening in the fiery, go big, and know your truth sign of Sagittarius. And the angle here, the angle between the new moon and Uranus, which we're going to talk about in a second, is an inconjunct. This is like a new choice point. Something is no longer fitting. Something no longer works the way you've been doing it. And you're being invited to step it up to a new way of being. It might be a subtle shift, but this is something that's going to create big changes down the road. So what is this shift about that you're being asked? To get the clues, we're going to look at more at the pieces that are happening here. The inconjunct is happening with the planet Uranus, which is all about waking up to your higher consciousness. So that's the first piece. Uranus is currently in Taurus, which is all about manifesting in physical form, like the actual physical experience of being here in a body, all the yumminess, all the goodness, the physical health, the enjoyment, the pleasure, the joy, the creating money. Taurus rules money and possessions, all of the goodness that we are here to experience. Uranus in Taurus is and has been for some time waking us up to a higher consciousness around how we create and manifest in the actual physical world. And this new moon is coming along and it's like saying, okay, here's a new choice point. It's time for you to wake up to your higher consciousness in how you manifest in the physical world. It's time for you to see the results now. It's time for you to see how powerful you are and create what you're here to create. So you're being invited to make this shift in some way, and it's going to play out in how you're manifesting in the 3D realms. I should mention that Uranus moves lightning fast. This means changes might come suddenly, might come quicker than you think, both with this new moon and in this upcoming 30-day lunar cycle. Uranus is also all about sudden change. Think like plot twists, things out of nowhere, reversals, pivots, surprises you didn't see coming. At this new moon and through this month to come, I'm going to invite you to be really open, to not hold too tightly to your ideas of how things should be. We can set the intention and at the same time, not grasp it too tightly, because Uranus represents your higher consciousness coming in with even way more than you could have dreamed up from your current state. Because that's the paradox, right? We manifest from who we are today, or I should say, rather, we set intentions from who we are today. But who I'm going to be even a week from now, with how fast the energy is moving lately, is a different person. So, how do we navigate that? When Uranus is involved in energy flow that's happening, we make a choice to not hold too tightly. Set the intentions from the highest place you can, and then let go the grip. Allow the changes to come. Allow the energy to switch suddenly if it does. So that's your first piece to hold here. Be open to the change, be flexible, be ready to pivot. Next, this new moon, interestingly, is in a trine with Black Moon Lilith, which means there may be some surprising stuff like bubbling up from the unconscious. Talking feelings, thoughts, think like feelings that may have been buried and suddenly they bubble to the surface and you're like, where did that come from? And why am I so triggered or enraged or whatever I'm feeling by this thing? That's the flavor of Lilith energy. That buried stuff is coming up and it's going to get your attention and it's not going to be silenced. Don't try to silence it. Let yourself feel what's happening. And with these Uranus sudden shifts, if there are sudden surges of emotion, of thoughts, of like unconscious buried stuff that seem to be coming to the surface and maybe grabbing you by surprise, pause with that. Let yourself feel that. There's information here for you. And by information, I don't only mean intellectual information, I mean energetic. I mean, let yourself feel what's happening. Let yourself be with it. Sometimes you can make the most profound changes without fully understanding exactly what's going on because the energy is working on a different level. It's especially true right now because this new moon is also in a square to Neptune, which may present as like a bit of unclarity or fogginess, or I can't quite find my way through what's happening. You can know that the intentions you set, the movement that you choose here goes deep, especially when you're willing to embrace all of the stuff that bubbles up, feel it, be present to it, and be willing to be flexible and pivot. Lastly, this new moon is in a trine with Chiron. This represents a new relationship, a mastery level relationship with old wounded places. So the intentions you're setting with this new moon, let them be from a quality of consciousness that recognizes you no longer need to be triggered by the stuff that has triggered you till now. You're at a new place in your consciousness now, and you can create intentions from this new place. That means you no longer have to go into the old spirals. You no longer have to get derailed in the old ways. And I'll invite you to set your intentions from that knowing. All right, so let's wrap this up here. You're being invited to go big in your dreams, to make some kind of a new approach that involves waking up to your highest consciousness. This is going to have significant ramifications on how you manifest in the physical world. The how of this is going to be unique to you and your journey and your sovereignty and how you masterfully move through the energy we're in. But it's likely going to involve some combo of being flexible, being willing to pivot, allowing the unconscious emotional stuff to bubble up and be felt. That's the feelings, the thoughts, the stuff that just comes out of nowhere. This energy can't be bypassed. It's got to be felt and presenced and held space for and loved. And lastly, choosing a new response to old wounded places. That's the lesson of Chiron. Be willing to be in a bit of unclarity if it's there. Your higher self has got this, knows what's up, even if your mind doesn't at this moment. Allow yourself to move forward anyway, and allow yourself to set big, bold intentions anyway, that are truly aligned with what you want to create. This is the moment to go bigger. This is the moment to do it. The energy is working powerfully with you, especially when you can pivot and dance with the intensity of some feelings, emotional stuff that might come up, and with some old wounded places that might arise. These inner shifts are the keys to majorly shifting energy in the world and in how you manifest what you're creating. Sending you all the love and good energy this beautiful new moon. Please like and subscribe if this has been helpful, and I will see you soon. Take care.